Playing the winger position is straightforward for the most part, but one of the things is for sure that you have to understand the runs you need to make your job a lot easier. In this video, I'll be doing the tactical analysis of a winger position. Your inverted runs as a winger is significantly important. If you look at in this picture here, you will be able to see how your winger cuts inside and allows the fullback to be overlapping, which means that you're gonna be outnumbering the opposition during the attacks. I would say coaches probably expect more scoring from the wingers than the strikers. Here we can see another successful inverted run by the winger, so allowing the fullback to overlap and have more space out wide when attacking. If you didn't make the inverted run as a winger, you'd have to be out wide and your fullback would be all the way back. And now you're losing a space out wide and in the central areas where you could be outnumbering the opposition. You having that wide option doesn't only mean that you can find that player to pass, but it also stretches the opposition's defensive line. In this example, if your winger wasn't central, now your winger would be wide and Messi would have no time or no space to actually have this opportunity, because this guy would be right out there and these two players would be right on Messi the whole time and Messi would have no space to do what he likes to do the best. You gotta think of where the weakest spots are on the opposition, which is right behind the fullbacks. There's always lots of gaps, so we need to be aiming for those spaces. But the most important thing to keep in mind here is because now your fullback left the position and as a winger you are central, now somebody has to keep in mind that there's a space, there's a gap back there. So it's either you or the central midfielder needs to come there to cover. So you have to make sure as a team that space is always covered. If you were to make in a wide run here, you are covering the space that your fullback can have. Your fullback is wasting their energy coming all the way up high. Not that they're always gonna be making that run, but you and your fullback needs to be in an excellent understanding one another. A lot of people think actually in this case, the circled player is the winger, but your winger is actually almost playing like a striker here. And the reason behind it is to outnumber the opposition and stretch the opposition's backline as well as their central line. Naturally, a lot of wingers likes to take the ball wide, which is understandable because you have more space and you have better vision when you take the ball out wide. But sometimes you need to understand what your fullback is also capable of. In this example here, just pay attention to the space on the opposite side. Fullback is not overlapping here because the ball is so deep. And the reason fullbacks decides to stay back, because the ball is so deep, now if the ball is lost, it's gonna cause a very quick counterattack for the opposition. Fullback has to stay and wait, but immediately the ball goes back, the fullback makes that movement, like the fullback is gonna overlap almost. Making those inverted runs as a winger will allow you to score more goals because you won't be out wide to make those crosses. Instead, you'll be coming in the 18 and looking to receive the ball and hopefully score. Keep in mind, your fullback most likely will not be overlapping after you have possession in the opposition's half. They'll most likely be staying back because now you're already outnumbering the opposition because your center mids are also pushing up. In this case, you open wide where you're allowing more room in the central areas. You must know when and where you need to take more and less risks as a winger. Centrally, you're looking to keep it simple, 1-2 touches. As you go near the opposition's net, you show your skill. Unless you are Kylian Mbappe, but not everybody can be Kylian Mbappe. Defensively, you play a massive role. Generally speaking, many coaches will want to cover the central channels when they start from the back. If they don't, then I'd really question their knowledge. So you're kinda is the block helping your center mids and attacking mids, so the ball is not played forward to those central channels. We want to force the opposition to play outside. More importantly, you need to know who to track back, because this actually creates chaos and mistakes if you don't know who you need to be marking. When the opposition is generating the attack from the opposite side, you need to be mainly focusing on the opposition's fullback. Unless they started attacking really deep, now your fullback will be shifting in further to cover the opposition striker, which leaves the opposition's winger open, and this is when you need to be getting in the 18 and marking the winger, unless you and your center mids talked about it and your center mids is shifting in the 18 for the winger. Now you get to stay on top of the 18 to mark the opposition center mid or attacking midfielder. Here we can see Kai Walker receiving the ball as a fullback out wide, which means that he was overlapping at one point. But now he's making inverted runs, so this is exactly when we would be expecting our winger to go out wide instead, to be the extra option. When the opposition knows that your fullbacks will be overlapping, ideally they want to stretch wide and naturally they want to hold the fullback, so it creates space in the central channels. And this is exactly when our wingers have the benefit of receiving the ball in the central channels. Otherwise, if the fullback is not overlapping, we cannot do this. One of the most important things to become a successful winger is to know when and how to conserve energy when you're playing the game. And it's quite simple. If you know where to stand when your team has the ball, and most likely the opposite side will have the ball, that's exactly when you would be conserving your energy, because you won't be sprinting, you'll just be stalling and waiting for ball to come to you. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe to my channel with the notifications on. You can also find my playlist here. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.